Hey guys, Curt Chan, Technical Evangelist at Autodesk, and today I want to show you how to work with STL files inside of Fusion 360, as well as go from a mesh to a watertight solid. Let's go ahead and dive right in. As you can see, I have this imported STL file, and it's a triangular-based mesh. If I right-click and say Convert, the thing inside of Fusion is that we don't work too well with triangular-based meshes and moving them over to Tspline. So what we actually need is a quad-based mesh. Let me show you exactly how we can go from a triangular-based to a quad-based. Now, one of the products that I like, that's one of our products, is Memento, and you can download it at our website or just do a quick Google search, and we have it for Windows as well as for Mac. And the slick thing is that once we get it loaded, it's actually a very easy product to work with. I just import my STL file, and what you can see here is I just have a scanned tooth, and it's just a STL. And if I drop down at the very bottom under visualization, we can actually turn on and see the wireframe. So see all the triangular based mesh. Just something that's kind of quirky. If I hold down the middle mouse button, that pans the model. And if I hold down the right mouse button, that rotates the model. Just something to kind of point out when you're working through it. Now, two, some of the things I like about it is that it's A, just simple to use, and B, I can actually go through and kind of cut pieces that I don't want, especially with scan data. You want to kind of trim some of the fat off that you might not want to work with. So under Edit, we can open that up and we can say Slice and Fill. And it keeps it really easy, so I can drag this arrow up and down. If I grab the circular piece, it rotates. And just to give you guys an idea, so wherever, depending on where I rotate, will give me that example of angular, of how I want that angle to be to where I want it to slice. And just to show you really quick, if I have it right here, I can just say apply. It will calculate and cut that piece off. If I do Command Z, Control Z, of course it will undo any type of edits that I made. Also, to keep it simple, is export. Now once you have trimmed the fat that you don't want off, now it's kind of exporting it and getting it out to a workable file we can bring inside of Fusion. So under Export, go to Export 3D Model, and then we can export it off. One thing I do want to point out is that if you even get some bad mesh data, some bad scan data, under Analyze, you can do Detect and Fix. Now the key here is under Advanced, I like to just detect for particles, intersections, holes, and we can go through and do a quick detection. If there are any holes, you can go through and repair the holes. So you get a lot of flexibility here. Very, very simple. It's kind of like the easy button, right? Also now, going back to Export, under Export 3D Model, you don't want to export as an OBJ, you want to do an export as an OBJ quads. This is really key because now this is what we can bring inside of Fusion, and all you have to do is you can actually ante up the target face count depending on what you want and just hit export. Once you export off, we'll hop over to Fusion, import it in, and as you can see here, it will come into a just kind of, you see all the quad-based mesh here. Let me go and clear out this warning, which is what we had from our last example. Now, if we open up the bodies, you can see it's still just a basic mesh file. And one thing I always like to do, and I always recommend this for everybody, is if you right-click on the top level, I like to capture my design history. Turn that on so any changes I make, it will progress through. So this is not a watertight solid, it's not a T-spline yet. So how do we go from this STL mesh to a T-spline and then to a watertight solid? Well, it's really simple. If you just right click on the mesh, come down, and actually what you can do is, let's actually hop under the create form, make sure we're in that environment, right click on now that mesh, come down to convert, and all I have to do is just say OK, and it will go through and take this quad-based mesh and convert it over to a T-spline body. Now the beauty about this now is that you're going to see just how clean a lot of these edges are going to look, as well as it's going to give us the flexibility to go through and manipulate it with our Edit Form tool. So see how clean this looks? I can actually just, if I rotate, and we'll zoom in a little bit, grab a couple of these faces, right click, say Edit Form, and really now it's just playing around and making any type of change I want. You can see just how easy this is to make those changes, and now we have a workable file from an STL to now a T-spline. Once I say OK and accept and say finish form, what happens now is going to take that Tspline body and now convert it over to a solid body for me. I'm going to say OK, let it run in the background, and now we have our solid body. As you can see right off the bat, here's a solid body. The beauty of why I turned on the capture design history is now I can come at the very bottom in my timeline, right click, say edit, and come back and edit that Tspline body. So keep that in mind, is to turn on the timeline or the design history at the very bottom so you can work with this mesh. At the end of the day, hopefully this helped you guys out. A very quick workflow of taking an STL file, triangular based mesh, bringing it over, making some changes in Memento, then going forward and saving it off as a OBJ quads. That's the export file you want. Bring it into Fusion, and then from here, convert it over to Tspline, and then convert it over to a solid body. Hopefully this helped you guys out. If you liked the video, click the thumbs up, follow me on Twitter, and thanks again, guys.